Tonight on Coyote News, the first deadline to secure campus housing is next week, and a student organization is planning several events to observe Black History Month. I'm John Weatherington.
And I'm Kathleen Surrey. The Vermilion Fire Department is teaching students the skills it takes to fight fires, and several USD offices are doing their part to prevent suicide.
Plus, the women's softball team went 3-0 their opening weekend, and the men and women's track and field team had 15 members place first in events this weekend. First, the headlines with Abby Pierce.
Former USD graduate and NBC News anchor Tom Brokaw has announced he's battling cancer. In August, doctors at the Mayo Clinic diagnosed Brokaw with multiple myeloma, a cancer affecting blood cells in the bone marrow. Brokaw is optimistic about the outcome of his treatment he's receiving, saying he remains the luckiest guy he knows. The House voted Tuesday to raise the government's debt ceiling. GOP leaders decided not to seek any concessions in exchange for the increase. The debt ceiling bill passed on a 221 to 201 vote. It now goes to the Senate for final approval. Chick-fil-A has announced that they will now use chickens raised without antibiotics. The FDA says these antibiotics, which are given to livestock to prevent disease and assist in growth, contribute to the rise of dangerous bacteria. Chick-fil-A hopes to remove all antibiotics from its 1,700 locations within the next 5 years. And those are your headlines.
A campus guest speaker is going to be discussing the intersection of sports journalism and race next week. The event is one of many planned on campus as part of Black History Month. The Union of African American Students is sponsoring guest speaker Dr. Leonard Moore, a professor at the University of Texas. Moore's speech entitled ESPN and the Miseducation of Black Folks is set for next week Wednesday at noon in Farber Hall. The UAAS is also teaming up with the Fine Arts Department to promote an evening of music, art, and soul food. The All That Jazz event will take place February 24th. Several USD offices are training students in suicide prevention. The Student Veteran Resource Center, the Center for Teaching and Learning, and the Student Counseling Center are hosting a seminar called Safe Talk later this month. The training session prepares participants to respond to situations regarding suicide with the acronym TALK. Tell, ask, listen, and keep safe. The seminar is February 21st from 10 to 2 in Muck Ballroom A. The event is open to only 30 participants. Those interested can register by emailing the Student Veteran Resource Center.
While fighting fires may seem relatively easy, some USD students are finding out it can be tougher than it looks. The Vermilion Fire Department is holding Fire 1 classes to teach new students the basics of firefighting.
So we'll learn about fire prevention, building construction, and the apparatus with fire trucks.
Students spend up to 3 months learning about fires before they advance to Fire 2 classes. Senior Kevin Saracani completed Fire 1 over the summer.
People join firefighting, they don't want to get in the classroom. The first thing they do, they want to they want to get in there, they want to put out fires, they want to save people. But I mean, I think with all professions and all training, you got to get through the classroom and the paperwork and everything before you get to the things that you may use more on the job.
Saracani says he hopes to make a career out of what he's learned with the Vermilion Fire Department.
I started getting involved with the Vermilion Fire Department when I came here for school, and I really enjoyed it, and every experience I've had with firefighting has been a good one. And so since then, I've wanted, to enhance a resume, to help my community and do these things and find ways to get better and make myself a better firefighter for myself as well as this community.
Students interested in Fire 1 classes can contact the Vermilion Fire Department. After the break, learn about the different housing options available for students. And it's not too late to get a special USD Valentine.
Although there are no applications for off-campus living, students who want to move out of the residence halls next semester are starting to plan as well. Students looking for a change of scenery have plenty of options, from apartments to rental houses. One of the biggest draws for off-campus living is the cost.
It's much cheaper living off campus as well. It's more cost up front, but in the long run I don't have to be paying thousands of dollars for a dorm room.
While renting a property comes with its own set of responsibilities, some students say there are major benefits.
Definitely just the freedom. You know, I have a house. I don't have to worry about my little closet dorm room anymore. I share the bathroom with only a couple other girls instead of 40. That's a benefit.
Miller used online listings to find her house. Other search options include local newspapers and realtors.
On-campus housing applications for the fall semester open up this month. Returning students who wish to live in their same room can apply on Monday, and students requesting a new room can apply beginning next Wednesday. If students request their same room and roommate, they'll find out immediately. Students who don't request a roommate will find out their results in the summer. Returning students can choose from rooms in Coyote Village, Burgess Norton, Brookman, McFadden, and North Complex halls. Incoming freshmen are either placed in Coyote Village or North Complex. All housing assignments are received through students' Coyote email accounts. With Valentine's Day quickly approaching, it's common to see flowers, teddy bears, and large boxes of chocolates lining the shelves of many stores and businesses. But there are other alternatives as well. Coyote News' Erica Arpan is live in the muck with Caitlin Breen and Nikki Luman to discuss Valentine's being sold by student groups. Erica?
Thanks, John. Love is definitely in the air for these two organizations as they have been tabling all week in the muck to sell their Valentine's Day items. Thank you both for being with us. All right, Nikki, can you tell us a little bit more about what you're selling and what the proceeds go to?
Yeah, we sell bananagrams. Its benefits our APES program here, which is the Anthropology Program Enthusiast Society Club here on campus. And we sell a variety of things ranging from $1 for a poem, $2 for a poem and a card, and $5 for a poem, a card, and a cute little monkey. We got a variety of poems ranging from, lovey-dovey, boyfriend girlfriend kind of ones to friendship ones to the number 10 special is what we call it, because it's not the best of poem, but it's good for like if you want to give a joke to a friend or to a beloved hated teacher.
Okay, and Caitlin?
What we're selling roses this week. That will go towards our national philanthropy. Our national philanthropy is Reading is Leading. So all the proceeds are going to be given to the Vermilion Public Libraries for book donations, and part of the proceeds are also going to Dakotathon as well.
And Nikki, what preparations do you have to do in order to get your items ready for Valentine's Day?
Mainly we, try to make sure we have a table and things like that. We decorate our own posters and we try to find nice cards, and we always check every year how many gorillas and monkeys we have to sell, and we buy those. Not too much preparation involved in it, but we do have to, make sure that anybody who brings in things that they want to give to their loved ones, like if they want to give us something extra, we have to make sure that they have it and things like that. So not too much preparation.
Okay, and Caitlin, how many roses, has the price of roses gone up for your organization since it's Valentine's Day week?
No, it hasn't. Our roses are $3 per individual rose, $30 for a dozen, and also a half dozen is $16.
All right, thank you both for being with us. If you haven't gotten your bananagram or your rose, make sure to stop by their tables before Friday. Live in the muck, I'm Erica Arpan.
Thanks, Erica. On this week's Coyote blog, Charlie Daldorf has some negative things to say about a certain type of exam.
Hello, everybody. You know what makes me want to punch a wall? Standardized tests. Yeah, those things, with the bubble sheets and mountains of text. With proficiency exams coming up in about a month, I think now is a good time for me to rip into them. What's the point of standardized tests? The higher-ups claim that it's a benchmark to make sure students are on the right track. The only thing that these tests make sure I have is a ton of stress and a migraine at the end of the day. Okay, fine. There are reading, grammar, math, and science portions to the test. These are all things students should be able to do without too much trouble. But the context of these tests isn't there. It becomes a test about fishing for answers, which is more delicious than actually working for them. Education is starting to become less about learning and more about results and answers. Standardized tests are foreign objects in this machine, and it is creating more problems than it realizes. Oh, and before I forget, Good luck, have fun, people. Make sure to have a big breakfast so those brains are on full power when it counts. For Coyote Blog, I'm Charlie Daldorf, and I'll see you guys next time.
Coming up after the break, we'll tell you how to acquire letters of recommendation and some things you may not know about university parking tickets. Stay with us.
USD's Contemporary Media and Journalism Department can be seen and heard all over campus. Faculty members know that hands-on experience now is the key to success after college. Get professional experience by participating in one of the many practicums offered. Have your voice heard on the radio. Edit a promo for a campus organization. Investigate breaking news stories for a weekly newspaper. Design advertisements for local businesses. Get involved with the CMJ department at USD and start your future now.
For some students, the process of applying for a summer internship or job starts now. Coyote News' Tabaria Ruffin looks at the process behind getting a letter of recommendation.
As the spring semester is starting here at USD, a long, tedious, but exciting process is also starting to begin for some. The start of spring semester also marks the start of some students' search for internships and their first job right out of college. SGA Vice President Clay Hoffman tells us some of the steps he takes to successfully get a letter of recommendation.
Usually when I get a letter of recommendation, I usually try to get someone who is a professor. And since I'm a political science student, I try to always get the internship coordinator, Mary Pat Byerly, and usually someone I've worked for or worked with that has my knowledge of work experience, and then sometimes a lot of times someone from back home in my hometown.
Andrew Finzen, a graduate student here at USD, says there are a few reasons why a professor may not write a letter of recommendation for you.
One might be that they just don't know you very well. Another could be that you're really not that successful in their class. You know, it's important that if you are going to a teacher, that you have had maybe more than one class than them, that they know you on a first name basis, and that you've done successfully in that class, succeed in their class, and show off a reason why you are someone that should be recommended by them.
Always be sure to ask your previous employer or professor for a positive letter of recommendation. Otherwise, you can be surprised what they have to write about you. For Coyote News, I'm Tabaria Ruffin.
Professors are encouraging students to request letters of recommendation at least 1 month in advance.
6 USD medical students have been selected to participate in the Sanford School of Medicine's FARM program. FARM stands for Frontier and Rural Medicine. It's an initiative designed to place physicians in rural areas across South Dakota. Jetta Som and Keely Krolikowski are assigned to Winter, Ryan Buss to Mobridge, Brooke Jensen to Platte, John Person to Millbank, and Meredith Sauer to Parkston, South Dakota. Students will spend 9 months in their assigned host community starting in 2015. They'll work with local physicians as they complete their 3rd year of medical school. On this week's Yolt Report, Bailey Millen says when it comes to university parking tickets, there's a lot more to it than just paying the fine.
Many students know the feeling of walking outside after class and having a white parking ticket waiting for them on their windshield. These students then know the process they must go through to pay for the ticket or file for an appeal. This week on the Yolt Report, I take a look behind the madness of the parking tickets.
Failure to register a vehicle, failure to properly display a parking permit, and simply parking in a specific parking lot during its hours of closure are a few ways to earn a parking ticket. Although most tickets range from $15 to $30, misuse of your permit or parking in a handicap spot can cost you up to $100. Sergeant Dean Tompkins Searcy says the money benefits UPD and parking lots.
Money would go to the parking lot repair, maintenance, if they would happen to build something new, student workers that we have working for us, also for the software and hardware that we use.
A and B parking lots, along with visitor parking, are scattered throughout campus. Each vehicle must have a permit to park in these respective lots during its hours of operation. However, there are a few exceptions.
A lots are open after 5 p.m. and on weekends. Anybody can park there with or without a permit. However, there are some A lots that you can't park in overnight. B, visitor, and any metered spaces are enforced or can be enforced 24/7.
Last year, 5,500 tickets were given out. This year, with the help of their student workers, UPD has already given out 4,000 parking tickets. To avoid receiving a parking ticket this year, see a complete list of parking rules and regulations at the UPD page on the USD website. For the Yote Report, I'm Bailey Millen.
The South Dakota Boards of Regents say they are not yet considering any kind of increase in parking passes or parking tickets.
Coming up after the break, the women's basketball team secures a win over Denver, and the football team hands out their annual awards. Stay tuned.
Excuse me, ma'am, what is this?
Obstacle course training. It's how we prepare our staff to get you the news first. Not bad. The Blonde, first to the news, first to you. The student's voice for 125 years.
Tonight on Coyote Sports, the women's basketball team puts up a win over Denver, but the men come up short. And the softball team starts its season undefeated. I'm Nathan Ellenbecker.
And I'm Nicole Griffith. The USD track and field team thrived in front of its home crowd. Plus, Coyote News' Taylor Moore speaks with high jumper Megan Gleiser about her impressive season so far. First, the headlines. Abby?
The New York Yankees have signed pitcher Masahiro Tanaka in a press conference yesterday. Tanaka was handed the number 19 jersey and cap. He's also receiving a 7-year, $155 million contract to play for the ball club. Tanaka says New York can be harsh if he doesn't perform, but he looks forward to the challenge. The LA Lakers lost their 6th straight home game, including one to the Utah Jazz on Tuesday, matching a franchise low. The team's been undermined all season by injuries, and it's likely the Lakers will miss the postseason for only the 5th time since the franchise moved from Minneapolis to Los Angeles in 1960. The U.S. hockey team fell to Canada. The U.S. led 1-0 at the end of the second period, but Canada scored 3 late goals to secure the win. Both teams had already cinched spots in the semifinals, but Canada now enters the playoffs as the top seed. And that's a look at what's new in sports.
The softball team won its first 3 games of the season at the weekend tournament in Orlando. On Friday, USD defeated Chattanooga 5-4 and Kansas 5-1. The Coyotes were unable to play 2 games on Saturday because of wet weather, but came back Sunday to defeat Long Island 4-2. Yvonne Minigue and Katie Dinning each had 4 hits in the tournament. Pitchers Rachel Q and Madison Frayne combined for 22 strikeouts while giving up only 11 earned runs. USD travels to San Diego State University this weekend.
The indoor track and field teams had 15 members win gold at the Dakota Realty alumni meet last week. On the men's side, the Coyotes won 5 of the 6 field events. Hank Lynch and Tyler Frank in the high jump, Jeff O'Connell in the long jump, Connor Fitzsimmons in the triple jump, Cody Snyder in the shot put, and Denton Stevens in the weight throw. In the running events, individual winners were Tivosky Lewin in the 200, Casey Shade in the 800, Eric Hill in the 60-meter hurdles, and Jeff Metler in the mile and 3,000-meter runs. First place winners for the women include Bethany Furzik in the pole vault, Amber Eichhorn in the mile and 3,000-meter run, Tess Johnson in the 800, and Amber Ewers in the 400. USD competes at the Iowa State Classic this weekend.
This week, Coyote News' Taylor Moore is live in the muck with Megan Gleiser, who placed first in the high jump at the track meet last week, ranks 3rd in the nation in high jump, and is a 2-time conference indoor track athlete of the week. Taylor?
Thanks, Nicole. I'm here live in the muck with one of USD's top performers in the Summit League. So, Megan, can you tell us what it feels like to be a nationally ranked athlete?
It just is basically more inspiration for me to keep working hard every day and just keep improving and see where I can go next with my rankings.
And so what has been your primary motivation throughout your track career?
Last outdoor season was it was just amazing to watch my teammates at the national level compete, and obviously Bethany winning a national championship just kind of made me open my eyes to see what I could do even and what stage I can place myself on. So I think outdoor season has really led to my success this indoor.
Absolutely. And there you have it. That is nationally ranked Megan Gleiser. For Coyote News, I'm Taylor Moore.
The women's basketball team scored a hard-earned victory against Denver last week. By the end of the first half, the game was close with a score of 33-30, but the Coyotes pulled away, scoring 55 points in the second half alone. The top scorers were Polly Harrington with 18 points and 9 rebounds, Nicole Seekamp with 17 points and 3 rebounds. USD beat Denver 88-67 to improve to 3-5 in the Summit League. The Yotes will host Fort Wayne tomorrow night and IUPUI on Saturday.
The men's basketball team suffered a tough loss to Denver last week. Denver took advantage of 11 USD turnovers to score 21 points and defeat the Coyotes 75-67. USD used 5 second-half three-pointers to cut Denver's 17-point lead down to 6, but could get no closer as they lost their 5th straight conference game. Adam Thosby and Trey Norris each had 15 points to lead the Coyotes. USD takes on IPFW and IUPUI this week. The Coyotes beat both teams at home earlier this season.
Tyler Starr has been named USD's most valuable football player. Last Saturday, the USD Football Awards were presented in the Muck Ballroom. Starr was presented the Henry Hyder Most Valuable Player, and for the second straight year was named Joe Salem Defensive Player of the Year. Starr led the team with 9 sacks and 15 tackles for loss. Kevin Earl was named the Dave Triplett Offensive Player of the Year. Sophomore Kean Loggy received the Tim Mojic Bulldog Award, the award chosen by members of the football team to honor the person who displays courage, endurance, and fortitude.
On this week's sports commentary, you've probably seen the buzz on social media. Now Courtney Sterrett's talking about an incident that happened with college basketball player Marcus Smart.
Irony is at its finest when it comes to Marcus Smart because, well, he didn't make a good decision when he decided to push a Texas Tech fan this past Saturday. Everyone might not know about the rules involving fan contact, but for someone in the Big 12 such as Smart, he knew very well what he was doing. As a result, he's been suspended for the next 3 games. Smart made an apology to not only the fan he shoved, but to his team, university, and family. He says that he wasn't raised this way, but that he let his emotions get the best of him. He also says that he can't let that happen again. This isn't the first time that Smart let his emotions take control when something didn't go his way. Last week in a game against West Virginia, he kicked a chair in frustration because he thought they were going to lose the game. Sounds to me that someone has a sportsmanship problem, and reacting in the ways he had been isn't acceptable. Sure, he apologized for it, but people aren't going to remember his apology. They'll remember his actions. Granted, the fan was trash-talking him, but he's rooting for the opposing team. Plus, it wasn't anything to be over-dramatic about. If everyone who talked smack on the other team was pushed, we'd all be on the ground. Hopefully Smart will truly change his attitude when he's on and off the court. His apology sounded sincere, but it won't mean anything until he proves he learned his lesson. Sportsmanship goes a long way and really reflects on who you are as a person. So next time something doesn't go your way, don't be smart about it. Be smart about it. For Coyote Sports, I'm Courtney Sterrett.
Thanks, Courtney. After the break, we'll hear how students want to spend their Valentine's Day and the Twitter account that's stealing the show from the Olympic Games. Stay with us.
Have you ever felt alone in a sea of people? You're silent, but screaming on the inside. Your tears are hidden behind a forced smile. 15% of those clinically depressed commit suicide. But those people aren't just numbers. They're your sister, your brother, your best friend. They're that person you put down the other day. Every 40 seconds, someone around the world commits suicide. Make the lost the found.
Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and while some people love celebrating with candy and roses, others choose to ignore the red and pink hearts and go about their daily business.
On this week's Out and About, we asked students to describe their ideal Valentine's Day.
Spending with somebody you want to spend it with, you know, making sure they're healthy, they're okay, warm, safe.
waking up and there's chocolates by my bed from my boyfriend.
Not spending any money.
And he made me breakfast, and we go out to lunch.
I don't really care that much about Valentine's Day.
And we go to a movie and have a romantic candlelit night.
Being fed by the ones I hold dear, strawberries dipped in chocolate while they're pouring champagne all over me. So, you know, pretty typical.
Copious amounts of chocolate. Well, I wouldn't be working, that's for sure.
Maybe go skydiving, go on a sexy date on the beach.
Well, a guy would rent a yacht and take me across the sea to Paris, and we would drink a lot of wine and have a great time, and he'd bring me flowers and a puppy and propose to me. And that'd probably be the most ideal but far-fetched Valentine's Day ever.
Probably a movie, food, something else.
On this week's Chuck in the Muck, Chuck Gresser tries finding a date for Valentine's Day.
After the first couple segments of Chuck in the Muck, I've been in pretty high demand. A lot of people want me for Valentine's Day.
Kobe.
You want to be my Valentine?
I would if you gave me ice cream, yeah.
Deal. What are you doing here at USD?
I'm a student.
Interesting. Wow. I haven't met many of those. Oh, hello, ladies. How you doing? Hi. What are you doing in jail?
Political corruption.
She's my Valentine.
What are you getting her?
I can't tell. It's a surprise.
Whisper it to me. You heard it here first, folks. This is Chuck in the Muck.
I know it is.
Have you watched my segment?
I have. Very entertaining.
Huh. No, just one. There we go. What are you doing for Valentine's Day?
I'm chilling. Actually, I probably might go to Sioux City.
For what?
Taking my girlfriend out.
Nice. What's her name?
Maddie Myers.
Is she cute?
She's very cute.
I know. Very
Yeah,
nice.
you know.
Have you ever watched Chuck in the Muck?
No, I haven't.
Justin, what's up? What's up, Gerald? So, Mike, what are you doing for Valentine's Day?
I am sitting at home watching Netflix.
It's a Friday night.
I'm gonna go get blacked out at the bars.
That's what I like to hear.
It's From One to America. How free are you?
America.
We've got a date.
I'm blushing. You like my sweater?
Yeah.
Do you love it?
I mean, kinda.
Do you love me?
I'm gonna pass. No.
No? Okay. You can embarrass
my
anyone.
sister, so I don't even.
I was gonna say, why are you holding hands? It's only in South Dakota, right?
Yeah, Midwest.
No, just South Dakota.
Okay.
Am I just too clingy?
Yeah, a little bit.
This is Chuck in the Muck.
A new copy of the Volant hit newsstands today. Be sure to pick up a paper to read about a dorm floor being reserved for sorority women. Those stories and many others can be found online at volantonline.com. The current Olympic Games showcase the world's best figure skaters, bobsled teams, and skiers. But this year, a 20-year-old journalism student is stealing the spotlight with his viral Twitter handle entitled @SochiProblems. Alexander Broad is enrolled at Toronto Centennial College and has been described by his school's student newspaper as a down-to-earth Canadian. This same individual is also the creator of a Twitter account that features not-so-flattering images of the Russian city currently hosting the Olympics, Sochi. Some pictures show Olympic venues that were under construction until the last moment, and hotel rooms lacking basic amenities. Broad's tweets have gained a lot of press and online attention, giving him more than 336,000 followers in less than a week.
That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Have a great night. We'll see you next time.